Well, welcome back. This is the fourth in our series about how Trinity Church is a community around Jesus that welcomes people and helps to develop them as people who are joining God and God's work in the world. And today we have one of our favorite ministers at church. I'm sure we would say one of the most popular ministers at church. We have Geri Lavallee. Geri, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Father Taylor. How are you?
I'm here. So today we're talking about Geri and we're talking about ministry. And sometimes, people have the idea that ministry is ordained ministry or ministry at an altar. But the majority of the ministry that happens that Jesus is involved with every day is out there in the big wide world doing all kinds of things. So where do you work and what do you do?
I work at Squadron Line Elementary School right here in Simsbury, and I work in the library as the library media assistant.
What does that mean? Like, are you the tech person?
Yeah, I do some of the tech work. I do all of the book check in and check out and bring in the new books that process them, new books that come into the library. Mostly I'm working with kids to try to help them find a book or a series that's good for them. I engage them by asking them what books they would refer or recommend to other kids. So we have these great conversations that go on about what they're reading and try to keep up with them.
So in your job, you have great conversations. And, how does your faith play into these conversations that you have with these kids?
Well, I guess over the years, you hear enough of just being aware of in the moment what's going on. And so as I work with the kids and the adults in the building, I just try to keep a focus on what can I do to be a blessing to somebody else? Do I see somebody struggling? Can I bring a smile to their face? What can I do to help?
And so do you do anything in particular to get ready for your day?
So I generally, when I walk the dog in the morning, I pray for those who are on my heart. And some of those times it's been people from school, family members, church members, just people who have been requested, will you pray for me? Of course I will. And I do that as I'm walking the dog in the morning, kind of just asking, what can I do today to be a blessing to somebody else?
So in your work with these kids, and you said that conversations become a really big part of what you do in your day. How do you prepare for that?
So I try to get, as I'm working with the kids and asking them questions and getting a sense of what their day is like, I try to be aware of what's going on with them. I watch their facial expressions and I keep my mind, hopefully, in the moment of what can I do for them to brighten their day.
So I know somebody who works at your school, and he told me, he said, "Oh yeah, I know her. She's the person that everybody goes to if they need someone to pray for them." Is that true?
Well, I don't know about everybody, but it is. I've had people come to me to say, I've got some stuff going on. Can you pray for me? Of course I can.
Wow, wow. In recent years, you had a slightly different ministry, and it was one that was a lot closer to home. Can you describe that a little bit?
Yeah, my dad moved in with us after my mom passed in 2012. He lived with us for 7 years before moving off to McLean's for about 3 years he was there. That was a ministry of support of my dad, which in hindsight, you see that it truly was a ministry. In the moment, it was difficult. And at times it was difficult because you saw my dad kind of declining and felt like, are we really doing the right things and supporting him in the ways that we should be? And I don't regret any moments that we had with my dad. They were all helpful to him and to us. We all grew in a lot of different ways.
I liked how you said that it was a different kind of ministry. I think a lot of times we think ministry looks a certain way, maybe behind an altar, or you started a giant organization that deals with homeless people or something. But, what you said, well, it's a different kind of ministry. And it was about your dad, about caring for your dad. So one last question. do you have any suggestions for most people who, in order to help them see that what they might be doing is actually ministry in everyday life?
Don't minimize what you're doing. You are bringing joy to another person, whether they acknowledge or know that they're receiving that from you. Because what it really does is bring joy to yourself because you're trying to help someone. I think that was something that I found really important when I was trying to help out with my dad. Mo was doing a wonderful job, and we just worked really well as a team to support my dad. And it was really important to do. And in hindsight, I wouldn't change it for a minute.
That's fantastic. So I knew that, Mo was there being supportive. I just didn't realize that Bennett was also a prayer partner. So
Well, when we walked.
It's the complete ministry. All right. So thanks a lot, Geri. And again, so this is part of our series, which I hope is being helpful in this way. We just don't have people come to church, like they attend a service and go home. And we don't just have members who somehow have met some criteria for being members of a church. We're actively a place where we find Jesus in the center of our life together. And we invite people from wherever they're starting to come and to learn more about Jesus, and then to be sent by him out in the world to do the work that Jesus does. And that is about joining God in the work that he's already doing in the world.